Hey YouTube, Ultra Maximus here, and I'm in my final video of my series of top 10 movies. In fact, this is going to be bigger. It's the top 12 because I went through 12 different genres of movies. So we went through holiday, fantasies, war movies, action adventure, family, westerns, comic book movies, horror movies, romance and romantic comedies. We went through comedies themselves and Disney movies. So this is going to be going through each one of those number ones in each category, and then I'm going to rank them in top 12 of those. So that's going to be kind of interesting. So this is the top 12 movies, period, for me. You know, it's okay. So these are all my number ones in all 12 categories and how I rank them in a list of 12. That makes sense? Kind of, sort of. Let's take a look at it and see where each of my number ones across the board rank and why they hit that spot. Alright, so number 12, my top list of movies of all time, goes to The Wizard of Oz. Now, The Wizard of Oz was my number one in family films, and I rank it number 12 here because while it is phenomenal, the singing, the dancing, it's a classic American film. We go from black and white to color, and that was some of the greatest songs and scenes and memorable scenes and characters. And we were scared to death of those monkeys as a kid, and nobody does a wicked witch like her. That's what all the other witches were set to, was that character. However, it is a dated film, and there has been a lot better writing since then, a lot better effects, and a lot better cuts. It's just, this film is dated. While it is a classic, it's going to be number 12 on this list. All right, coming in at number 11 is Titanic, James Cameron's Titanic. This is a great love story. It's shot well. It looks great. They re-released it in 3D. It's a fantastic film. Love the sets. I love the Titanic itself. All, the staircase and all the props and the costumes. It is all amazing looking. However, when it comes down to it, my first gut instinct hits in. It's two fictional characters that are waltzing through history. And had they actually been characters of true historical accuracy, I would have probably ranked this film a little higher. But since they are two fictional characters, it's going to have to sit at number 11. All right, so breaking into the top 10 is Poltergeist. Fantastic horror movie. It was obviously my number one horror movie. I love this movie. Spielberg helped create it. The effects are amazing. It's a good story. It was very original, and it scared me to death when I was a kid. However, again, unfortunately, because it is a little dated, I'm going to have to push it back on there. And horror movies are not my genre of choice. So I'm just unfortunately going to have to push this back to number 10. Still an excellent film. Number 9 goes to my number one pick for Westerns, Unforgiven. Fantastic film. Clint Eastwood, probably my favorite Clint Eastwood movie. Gene Hackman is outstanding as the quote-unquote bad guy. Just a great film. He's such an utter badass. Goes through, kills everybody, threatens to kill anybody else. Morgan Freeman was good in it. Unfortunately, again, it kind of boils down to the fact that Westerns, while I love a good Western, there are other films on this list that are just personally closer to my heart than this one is. I love this film, but it's got to stay in the backside. Okay, at number 8 is my number one pick for comic book movies. It's Watchmen. While this is probably the best adaptation of a comic book film that's ever been produced, this is where it gets a little tough. We get to number 8, and I really had to start organizing which films come in where and why. And while I love this film, I think it is superb. It looks wonderful. The characters are great. Zack Snyder did a great job. I look forward to Superman, Man of Steel. It's just that there are other films, unfortunately, that sneak past this one. While this is my favorite comic book movie, it's still got to be pushed back a little bit, and that's why it's sitting at number 8. All right, number 7 comes National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And this is obviously my number 1 pick for holiday films. It is hilarious. You could watch this all year round, but when it comes down to it, it's still a Christmas movie. So let's take a look and see what's beating it. All right, at number 6, we've got the number 1 Disney flick, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. And you gotta love a pirate movie. They're dangerous, they're romantic, it's adventure, it's, you know, a horror story, it's comedy. It's got everything that you're looking for. You know, you got Johnny Depp in this film. Jeff Rush is the perfect pirate. And it is fantastic for what it is, but does it deliver the caliber, firepower of an outstanding film, of just an epic film? I don't know. That's why we're sitting at number 6. All right, at number 5, we have Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, Matt Damon. And when we break into the top 5, we have to have really heavy hitter films. And this, no doubt, is a major epic heavy hitting movie. It's brilliantly shot. It looks beautiful. It is so gory, so powerful, emotional. It is the best war movie. It's the number 1 war movie in my pick. And, you know, it definitely deserves to be in the top 5. All right, my number 4 spot goes to my number 1 comedy pick, Ghostbusters. You can't go, I mean, this is a movie every guy can quote almost every single line of the film. How many times have we watched this? It's funny. It's got a little bit of scariness into it. They go on an adventure. There's a love story. It's got just about everything you're looking for in a film, but it is a comedy. And there are some other films, I think, that are a little deeper than what this one is. So that's why, while it is fantastic, it's still number 4. All right. At number 3, we've got Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, the number 1 pick I had for fantasy films. This is epic. It's huge. It's massive. It's nerdy. I mean, we've got elves and dwarves and goblins and orcs and wizards and such a great cast. And Peter Jackson really brought this to life, and it became a phenomenal worldwide success, and just, it's amazing. However, there are movies that have precedence over this. Without these upcoming films, this movie never would have been made. So that's why it is at number 3. All right, my number 2 pick for greatest movie of all time for me is Raiders of the Lost Ark, my number 1 action adventure film. I mean, this is the definition of what an adventure film is. You've 1940s Nazis. He's going, you know, Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford. He's going after relics, you know, the supernatural, everything that you want. You know, there's love interest, the romance, there's the physical bravado of this guy. Everything you're after in a great adventure is Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's what you measure them up to, and that's why it's number 2 on the list. But there's one film that changed everything, literally. And that number 1 movie of all time has got to be Star Wars. And not just for the sheer nerd in me, but on multiple levels. This film changed the way all other movies were made. The special effects, the editing, the cinematography, the music score. everything changed the industry. George Lucas pulled from so many different mythologies and religions and put this, it wove it all together, in that used universe. It's a space opera, it's science fiction, it's adventure, it's romance, this story can be placed in every single genre, any time period, and still be able to be retold. You could take these characters and what they're trying to do and put them into a pirate film. You could put it into a western. Okay, it would still work, and that's what makes this one of the greatest films ever produced. So there it is, guys. All my number one films from across the board, all the different genres, stacked in order to the greatest, and this has got to be it. So I hoped you liked it. I hoped you enjoyed the series. If you're just now seeing this and haven't seen the others, check them out on my channel. Leave a comment. What are the greatest movies of time for you? What didn't you see? What do you think should have been in there? Leave a comment, leave a video, subscribe, check my other stuff out. I appreciate you going through this entire series with me, and look for more videos in the future. Thanks, guys.